Hey everyone, it's Jonathan, and welcome to the penultimate episode of our Jurassic Park series. Today, Sam and I are back to talk about Michael Crichton's The Lost World, the 1995 follow-up to his extremely successful novel, Jurassic Park. I remember reading this once when I was a teenager, at some point after I read Jurassic Park, but absolutely nothing about this book stuck with me the same way parts of Jurassic Park did. The Lost World, the movie, for a while was my favorite of the franchise, but for whatever reason, I didn't care enough about the book version to even remember the plot. All I remembered was that it was completely different from the movie, and maybe something about chameleon dinosaurs. So, having refreshed my memory on the original novel, I was eager to get back into this one and remember what the plot was. And I was not prepared for how bonkers it was going to get. So I'm pretty sure that I read this at the same time that I read the original Jurassic Park, like back when I was a teenager. But I did not remember much of this book at all. I remembered some stuff about the first book, but this one was like fully fresh this time through.
Yeah, when I reread it, I knew I'd read it as a kid, and I own both the books, but my copy of The Lost World looked brand new, and I was like, I read this, I know I read it. I have no memory of reading this, and when I reread it, I was like, oh, that's why. Because I definitely did not like it as much as the first book.
Me neither. It was odd. There were so many weird choices.
Yeah, and it's funny how the movie, when they made the Lost World movie, Steven Spielberg's like, hey, thanks for writing this. I'm not going to include any of this except this one scene.
Basically just the trailer, I think.
And some of the little, like, the baby T-Rex.
Yeah, there's hardly any of this was in the movie.
Yeah, it was like, he's like, well, thanks for writing that. I'm not going to use it. But Godspeed.
I mean, I didn't hate the book, but it was not as fun as the movie.
I heard someone online say that it's very much in line with The Lost World by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And now I really want to read that.
That's on my list to read.
Yeah, they said it very much is a lot like that. I know I've seen those old movies of The Lost World, but for the life of me, I was a kid and dinosaurs, yeah, claymation. Mm-hmm. But yeah, now I want to read that and see if... It can't be that much in tune with it, though, because this is all about the science, and that's more about the mysticism in the center of the earth and whatever.
Yeah, okay. I think one of the things that I did not like about this book was that it felt like all of the stuff that I didn't like about the first one, like the long diatribes about scientific stuff, it was like this was cranked up to 11.
Oh, yeah, and we get another Malcolm high on morphine, just prattling on and on, with like the greatest retcon of all time at the beginning, like, you didn't die. Nope, they were wrong. I'm alive.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't really bug me because, like, I like him and I would want him back, but it is a bit of a cop-out.
Well, and his death at the end of the first book was also kind of weird. It was like, we're rescued. Oh, FYI, Ian died. You're like, when? So, I mean, I guess it makes sense that since it was from Alan and their perspective that Ian had died, that maybe they didn't know he was fine. And they were under lockdown.
Yeah.
But still, it was just so... Because I reread the first book and immediately started rereading the second book. And since I didn't remember the second book, I was like, wait, how the hell is he coming back? I'm like, we're just going to yada yada. Okay, off we go. I will say his writing of female characters in the second book is much improved on from the first book. Like, Sarah Harding is a very much more fleshed out character than Ellie was.
Yeah.
And she was also smarter than she was in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching the movie and feeling like I did not remember this character.
I was just like...
Like, I liked her when I first watched the movie. I thought she was a great character, and then watching it this time, I was like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
Rewatching it as an adult, it's just like, Miss Ma'am, you keep bragging that you're the top of your field and you know what you're doing, but I don't think you do.
Whereas I believe this version in the book does.
Mm-hmm. The kids are also written better, though I would have been happy if they would have just not had kids in this at all, but...
Yeah, the kids were definitely better than the book kids. Although when I was reading it, I was like, they kind of feel like bargain bin versions of Lex and Tim.
Yeah, just not quite as annoying. Still annoying.
I mean, from the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they almost felt like he had watched the movie and was like, I like these kids. I want to write about these kids, but I'm going to change them.
As opposed to the kids I wrote about in Jurassic
Yes.
Park that everybody wanted to die. Like his writing of kids was much better for the Lost World with Arby and Kelly. Mm-hmm. They weren't quite as annoying. They were still a little hard to believe. But
A little, but they were still much better than the books.
yeah, I mean, I get that they're supposed to be like nerdy kids, and this is like their forte, so they're supposed to know exactly what they're doing.
The one, Arby, he was almost at an unbelievable level of genius, but I think that was on purpose.
Yeah.
Because he felt like, I mean, I don't know any child prodigy, so he could have been realistic
like a
to
Sheldon
a real
Cooper.
child. Yeah, he could have been realistic to one who is like that.
Or maybe Michael Crichton just still was trying to figure out how to write kids.
It could be. He's like, I need a genius, I need a kid, I'm just going to mash them together.
Yeah, just going to make this little kid super smart. Because they weren't very old. They weren't like 17. They were younger.
They were, now I don't remember. They were early teenagers, but Arby was much, he was like at least 2 years younger,
Yeah,
I
because
believe.
he had skipped a grade.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, he's like a child prodigy, Sheldon Cooper, but also like, this is a little kid. Mm-hmm. He should be, I don't care how smart you are, you're thrown into a perilous situation with dinosaurs.
The beginning was reminiscent of the beginning of the book, where you had dinosaurs showing up on the mainland. But in this case, it's a huge dinosaur. The thing that bugged me was like, nobody thinks it's a dinosaur. It was like, it took them forever to come to the conclusion that it was a dinosaur.
Yeah, I mean, I get like, and in this book, like the Jurassic Park cover-up is better. Like in the movie, everybody knows about dinosaurs in the islands. But in the book, like, they actually covered it up a bit more. Mm-hmm. It's more rumor of what happened. And Ian, he doesn't really talk about it. Well, he talks about it more in the book than he did in the movie. But yeah, it's like you have this giant thing on a beach. And I know, like, when animals are, like, going through decomposition and stuff, they look different if they're bloated and stuff. But still, it's like, what the hell do you think it is?
Well, they kept calling it, like, I think that somebody said something like an unknown cow-sized lizard. And I'm like, has no one ever heard of a dinosaur?
Right.
Like, that would be, even though I know dinosaurs are extinct and it's impossible that one showed up, if a giant cow-sized lizard was found decomposing somewhere near here, my first thought would be like, where did a dinosaur come from?
Well, and there's always been rumors of, like, dinosaurs in the Amazon. So if something showed up on a beach outside of a jungle, you'd be like, damn.
They were right.
They're right. That's not a gator. That's not a Komodo dragon. Well, that's it. So that's as
Time
big
to
as
rewrite the science books.
Right. It's like that's as big as we get here with our lizards, is crocs and Komodo dragons.
But nobody came to, like, even Malcolm didn't come to the conclusion right away, I don't think, because he, like, takes the sample to the zoo, and then the lady at the zoo was like, I think she's talking about, like, a big pelican or something. I was like,
I mean, I know they're trying to, like, attach, like, the bird DNA to it, but damn, that's not a pelican. It'd be different if they would have been like, if it would have been a bipedal dinosaur, because I don't think it was. And they were like, is it like some kind of emu or cassowary?
they didn't even come up with that, though.
No.
So, I don't know. It just felt so weird that nobody thought dinosaur for a while.
Like, even as a joke. Like, hey, this kind of looks like a dinosaur, doesn't it? But that's impossible.
That would have felt so much more real if somebody had even just suggested, hey, maybe it's a dinosaur, as a joke.
Well, and then they're coming in and, like, blowtorching the corpses. And you're like, well, clearly this isn't a new species that's been discovered if you're torching it and it's, like, foaming and weird and like, okay. Or even if they would have been like, maybe it's like a deep sea creature that washed up. You know how, like, certain fish only wash up when they're dying? And that's the only reason we know they exist. Like, even then, they could have been like, maybe it came from the ocean. Maybe it didn't come from the jungle. Like a giant squid or those big creepy oarfish things.
Yeah, but nobody seemed to jump to any conclusions that seemed like a normal conclusion.
I think probably because they already knew. And they're just trying to act like they don't know.
Maybe.
Except for the one guy, the main character.
Yeah. The characters in this book are almost all very different from the movie. Like, you have a bit of a crossover, but even the ones that have the same names are different.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess the driver of the plot, Levine,
Yeah.
he's like a friend, quote unquote, of Malcolm.
Yeah, he's got like a colleague.
They didn't seem like they were that great of friends, but they were close enough that Malcolm wanted to go rescue him.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of...
The only people that seemed to like him were the two kids.
Yeah, because they like idolized him.
Yeah. That was another thing that made me think that they were kind of like bargain bin versions of Lex and Tim, because they liked him and Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was almost like idol worship,
Yes.
like you had with Tim and Dr. Grant in the first movie.
Yeah, and like Levine's whole thing is he's like, he wants to find like this like lost world. Like, he thinks there's a world where dinosaurs have remained untouched.
That was another thing that was weird to me. Like, why are they talking about this, like, in terms of something separate from InGen?
Yeah, that kind of got me too, because I was like, are you trying to say there's an actual island with dinosaurs that escaped extinction? Because if these were even, created by InGen in the smidgen, even if InGen hadn't been there in like how many years, they're still not natural. This isn't a lost world. This is
Which they come to that conclusion by the end, but at the beginning it just felt weird that they were focused on this as something separate from InGen's meddling with nature.
Which I suppose that's where the whole Sir Arthur Conan Doyle story is like, and maybe he read The Lost World, was like, I'm going to go find those dinosaurs.
It could be. I don't think they made that connection, though.
No, not in the book. And then, he goes to the island and immediately it hits the fan, and
Which is not surprising.
no, and he gets away, and his poor friend or buddy who he dragged along with him is munched. Immediately dino food.
Which it doesn't say what got him at the beginning, I don't think. This was another thing that I only half remember, but I'm partially wondering if I only remember this because of people talking about it around the time Lost World came out. Because the Carnivores...
That's what I assumed got him, because it was all about the camouflage.
Yeah, which I feel like I only half remember reading that from when I was a teenager, because I remember it being a huge talking point when Jurassic World came out, because there was a dinosaur that could camouflage.
Yeah, that
Indominus
Rex that we must... Don't even... We're not going to go there. But yeah, I when I reread The Lost World and I got to that part, I had no memory of that at the end, like with the Carnitos, whatever.
Carnivores.
Yeah. And when I was rereading that, I'm like, what?
It is a cool idea. It's just...
a little extreme.
And it feels weird that it almost felt like it was thrown in at the end, because as I was going through the book, I remembered when Jurassic World came out and everybody was talking about the Carnivores. And for whatever reason, I was thinking that they were going to be a big part of the book. And like, we were getting towards the end of the book, and I was like, maybe I misremembered and they're not in this book. Maybe, like, I didn't know what to think. And then, like, I thought we were getting close to them escaping the island, and then suddenly they're seeing these camouflaged dinosaurs in the forest. I was like, okay, they are here, but this is real close to the end.
Well, the level of extreme, like, I know we have animals that can do that in real life, like chameleons and stuff, and we have animals that do blend into their environment without having to change the way they look, but this was like to an extreme
level. It seemed
level.
like a superpower.
It was like the invisible cloak in Harry Potter. That's what it made me think of.
I was thinking of it more like a cuttlefish. I don't remember if they said cuttlefish in the book, but the way cuttlefish changed their...
They say cuttlefish in Jurassic World.
Okay.
Yep. I'm pretty sure. I haven't watched it in a while, but I'm pretty sure that they talk about cuttlefish.
It could be. Either way, the way that it was described in this book made me think of cuttlefish, but there's no land animal that can do it the way that cuttlefish do, because even like chameleons, they're very slow.
Yes, and it's not 100% either. Like they just kind of eyeball it and hope for the best.
Yeah. The way that this was described, it was like the cuttlefish can do, where it's not instantaneous, but it's super fast, and it's almost completely invisible.
Right. But also the cuttlefish lives in one environment.
And its skin is completely different to lizards.
Yes.
Completely.
Yes. Fish scales and...
The cuttlefish, it's not scales. It's because they're like related to squid.
Oh,
so it's like
squids
this,
change color
this
too.
Squishy.
Well, even fish change color. Like we had a lot of fish, like when they're either mad, scared, or during mating season, will completely change color. My dad had rainbow cichlids, and they would literally go from like red to blue.
Okay.
Like they can change their color completely depending on the situation. And like a lot of fish, if they're scared, will lose all their color almost and go pale, or if they're sick. So like fish can do it too, but they're not blending into their environment. They're just, either like they flush when they want to fight because they're showing their colors, or they're flirting like birds do. But it's not to the extreme of like a cuttlefish though. But they can like pop their colors, and it's really actually interesting to see.
It would be. You don't have any fish like that, do you?
No. My grommies will darken their colors if they want to get a little flirty, but not since I added that angel in there who's terrorizing everybody. They don't have time for that. And then we get Dodgson back, who I completely forgot was in this.
Yeah. And it's not like, I mean, he wasn't a huge character to begin with, but it felt like a different character.
Oh, yeah. A completely different character. I was like, I'm like, maybe we should just came up with someone else. And he's such a terrible villain. And not in a bad villain way. He's a bad...
It almost was like a cartoon villain.
Yes. It was very much like, if I was watching a cartoon, this is what I would expect. Like somebody, he'd have like the big chest and he'd walk around with his head up, you know how cartoon villains walk and look like Gaston. That's like, he kind of reminded me of like that. Like, he was just an idiot. Yeah.
And like he was evil for, I mean, he had
Evil's
a reason,
sake.
but like the things he did seemed like evil for evil's sake. Because, like, he gave Sarah a ride to the island, but then tries to kill her.
Yeah, because he realizes who she is, and I'm assuming he was like, well, if I let her get a different boat, she'll end up on the island, but if I take her with... But we don't have guns. We didn't bring guns with us, so we'll just pitch her overboard.
It just seemed like too over the top. I mean, there are people who are just evil, so I guess it's not completely outside the bounds of realism, but it felt almost cartoony how evil he got, and especially toward the end.
Yeah, and he had a lot of, not screen time, but a lot of time dedicated to him. And I don't think they run into the other group at all. I think the only person he ever interacts with is Sarah. I kept forgetting he was in the book. Right. Because I was listening to it in chunks, because I was using audiobook, and I was listening to it in chunks. And I kept forgetting, like, a chapter would come up with him in it. I was like, oh yeah, he's in this book. Yeah, and his little, red shirts, basically. Like, they're just there to die. Basically. In some horrifying ways. A lot more horrifying than, just like with Jurassic Park, everybody dies worse in the book than they do the movie. And the same is with The Lost World. Yeah. Described in gruesome detail. Which is good. That's what we're here for. This isn't a kid's book. It is less horror adjacent, I would say. Yeah. But with the amount of science in this book, it's probably why I don't remember reading it when I was younger. It was probably like me trying to go through a book that I had to read, and I just kind of zoned out when I got to something that was really boring. Because there was long passages of just Malcolm going on and on. I know. And like, you're reading it and you're like, I know this is important. And I know Michael Crichton put a lot of work into the science to like do this. He's not just pulling all this out of his ass. A lot of it, he's tried to figure out how this would work, but I'm still like, damn. Yeah. And it sort of amused me that at points he would just be going on and on and on, and people would interrupt him and be like, what does this have to do with dinosaurs? Why are you still talking? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. What does this have to do with anything that we're experiencing right now? Well, it always brings me back to Jurassic Park when he's like, I really hate that man. Yeah. Because he goes on and on and on and on. Yeah. As much as I like Malcolm, Book Malcolm is insufferable. But he does... It is funny, though, how he the first book, it was all chaos theory. And this one is still a bit chaos theory, but he really veers away from it.
It's more evolution.
It's more into the evolution. It's like he kind of did like when he died and came back, he changed how he looks at things. But we do get like some good characters, like Eddie, of course. He's just as great in the book as he is in the movie.
He's very different too, though. He was described as like a young 20-something kid in the book, which he is definitely not in the movie.
No, but you like both of them either way. And then the whole time you're like, oh yeah, you're gonna die differently, but just as terribly.
Yeah.
And we get the RVs, which are great. Like I do like all of that. I like how they're prepared, but I also am like, I think they're gonna get this done real quick, which the book does kind of go like. I think the book is only like,
I feel like they said they only had like a day or two.
Yeah, it's kind of like the movie. Like the movie flies by at the speed of sound. Like when we did our movie review, and how everything happens really fast. And I feel like the book is kind of like crunch time too. Like, if we don't get back, the helicopter won't come back for us ever again. And I'm just like, yeah, but why?
Yeah.
Why not just come back?
Yeah. The whole thing at the end with trying to race to get the helicopter and then the helicopter is leaving. It's like, why do you have such a tiny, tiny window of time?
And I'm sure they explained it. But again, I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. I read this in September.
Another thing that the book has that the movie doesn't is... It's like hinted at the beginning, talking about there's some kind of a disease, and then it becomes more prominent towards the end. I almost feel like he did the disease route just so he could make the dinosaurs more insane. Because the raptors were insane.
They were f***ing nuts. And I actually did come to appreciate it once at the end, because it was basically like Mad Cow, because they were feeding them mutton. And when it got to that point, and I was like, that's brilliant. It
is.
But also, it took a long time to get there. By the time we got there, I'm like, awesome. Firebomb this island. The other one could have stayed. Those raptors weren't crazy.
Yeah. The ones on the other island were normal.
And they're trying to figure out, why the herbivores are dying. And yeah, the raptors, though, I remember when I read it, it was just kind of whiplash. I'm like, what? Because like the end of the book of Jurassic Park worked to establish that the raptors not kept in captivity weren't nuts. Like they were animals, but they weren't crazy. Like, how to a point that I was like, maybe we shouldn't be walking around the raptor nest and they're just ignoring us, because you can't do that with too many predators.
Yeah.
Or even birds. Like that goose is going to get you. But, and then this one, we just flip it to, yeah, they're super smart, but also like they're nuts. I'm like, wow, these guys make the ones that were in Jurassic Park trapped in the cage look
halfway normal.
These guys are crazy. What the hell's wrong with them? Which I suppose that's the whole point. It's trying to make you think what's wrong with them. But the Rexes didn't have that.
No, not really. It was mainly just the raptors. Yeah,
the two Rexes were the mated pair with the babies. They were fine. Like they weren't acting crazy. They had, their only... they kind of made it really clear that their only goal was to keep their nest alive. To the point that even, like they said, the male Rex was a bit thinner than he should have been, because they were taking care of their nest. And then you pan to the raptors and you're like, oh, what's wrong with you?
Apparently mad cow disease.
I mean, I can't imagine a couple Rexes who were acting like that. That would have been...
They would have killed each other.
They would have killed each other and everyone around them.
I'm surprised that the raptors didn't kill each other. There's like one scene where a raptor is killed by the other raptors, but like I would have thought they would have turned on each other.
Well, and I think it was an injured one, wasn't it?
So yeah, it got injured and then the others turned on it.
Which is like what chickens do. Yeah, if you get one injured chicken, the other chickens are going to take it out. So I kind of was like, oh, that's kind of like a poultry thing. No, it's just mad cow.
Mad raptor disease.
Oh, God.
Yeah, despite this book being more adventure and less horror, if it had just been the raptors, that's the perfect basis for a horror movie. As much as they were awful in the first book, they were nothing compared to these things. It was like they weren't even creatures. They were just evil.
Well, and it's funny because, like, then you go to, like, the movie where the raptors, they kind of give off, like, that they're evil, but they're a little overly smart.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but they're still animals, and they're still working in tandem,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not, like, any crazier than they were in the first movie.
They felt like the same creatures from the first movie.
They felt like, you know, they were just, instead of being, you know, animals that got out of a park, these guys were an actual pack that had been together.
Whereas in the book, until they explained the prion disease, I was like, this completely contradicts everything that happened in the first book.
Yeah, that's just it. You're just like, wait, what? And in this one, you know, the whole point is to steal the eggs. Dachshund goes there to steal eggs.
Yes, because that's what leads to the trailer scene. Mm-hmm. Because they're stealing eggs and then they break the baby's leg. Like, just step on it by
Eddie
accident.
steps on it, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not the same as they purposely broke the leg to lure in the adults.
Yeah, to go hunting.
Yeah.
But, like, it's funny how these two groups go there almost at the same time for completely different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't know that, like, I don't think Dachshund knew they were, did he know they were there? I don't think
he knew they were there. I think he
until
knew
Sarah
that they were,
showed up.
I think he knew that they wanted to go there because he went and stole all of Malcolm's stuff so that he could find the island.
And then Sarah shows up on the boat with them. But, like, Levine going there, I always want to call him Levine, going there is just, it has nothing to do with what Dachshund and them are doing. He just goes because he's rich and he wants to test his theory that there's a lost world with dinosaurs living untouched. And Ian goes to save him. And then they show up to steal dinosaur eggs to take back to the mainland, which is better than stealing a whole dinosaur.
It's smarter.
Yeah. I mean, kind of, until you're like, let's get the predators with no guns and just this little music box to...
Do they not have any guns? I guess I don't remember them saying that. I just assumed that they had guns.
I don't think they really brought too much with them, because I think the whole assumption was that noise machine was going to keep... Which it does work, until it doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's how we get eaten by tyrannosaurs.
I also did kind of like how they got the kids to the island, too. Because even though it is a bit ridiculous, I thought it was written in a way that made sense, and the kids are really smart. Because the kids... Levine is their teacher. So they had apparently already had some sort of a school trip planned, like a research trip planned with him. And they'd gotten permission slips and everything to go with him. And then he disappears. And they still want to go on this trip. So they stow away with these guys. So their parents just think they're on a research trip.
And I think they hid, like, in, like, it wasn't like an attic, but they were, like, in a storage...
They were in some sort of a storage container that they ended up getting locked into.
Yeah, you know, because, like, in the movie, they just like, oh, Kelly's here. And I'm like, well, did you... I mean, there'd be no reason to do a walkthrough to make sure everything's there and no one's stowed away, because they wouldn't have assumed that would have happened.
Yeah.
And they probably all were riding together in the front and in the Jeep anyway. So there'd be no reason for them to go look. And this was before we had cameras everywhere. Nowadays, you'd be like, my Ring camera went off.
Yeah.
There's somebody in the trailer.
Although, ironically, when they get to the island, there are cameras everywhere.
True. Yeah, on the island that Levine put up, which I thought was a little...
I don't think he put them up. I think they were there from the people who were on the island.
Oh, yeah, the scientists. I forgot that, though. There was a whole thing there.
Yeah, because they had... This is where they were breeding them.
Yes.
I don't remember the timeline as to when this island was abandoned, but everything was still working.
Because it was on, like, a power...
It was like geothermal power.
Yeah, we're running on geothermal power.
But everything... Like, all the cameras were still on and everything, and everything still worked.
Yeah.
So it feels like it wasn't that long ago that it was abandoned.
Yeah, like in the movie, everything's, like, grown over. And I think there's still food and stuff.
Yeah, they were talking about finding food.
Yeah. But, you know, once that mad cow kicked in, everybody's like, time to go.
I guess that would cause you to abandon the place.
Because, you know, beforehand, you're like, oh, yeah, it's dangerous out there. And then you're like, oh, those raptors are acting a little... a little sus.
Yeah.
More than normal. And that dinosaur just changed color. Uh-oh. I do like that we get more dinosaurs in this one, though.
Yeah.
And, we get the trailer scene, which I think is, it's just as good as, it's more intense in the book. And then, because Ian gets hurt again, and that's where we start doping him up again. When he got hurt again, and they're like, get the morphine. I'm like, oh, hell. Oh, no, I know where this is going.
Michael Crichton was like, I want to write a 10-page dissertation on evolutionary theory. I know, let's injure Malcolm again.
God. It's like, I read Lord of the Rings. I know how to get through a really, really long spiel, but, oh, come on. He's high as a kite. And nobody's listening to him, so I'm not going to listen either. But Sarah's like the hero in the book, though. Like, she saves Malcolm and gets him out, and...
I really like book Sarah a lot better than movie Sarah.
Oh, yeah.
And I love the movie.
Yes.
But I like this, even though I don't like the book as much, I like this version of Sarah
Yes.
more than the movie version.
Yeah. There weren't so many times that I was like, man, what are you doing? Because, like, they open with her, like, actually on the safari, like, doing her thing. So, like, she's, like, living amongst a pride of lions, like, watching them, and she knows what to do, and... as in the book, they're like, well, this is what I do. They told you instead of showed you, and the book showed you.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just looking through my notes. I forgot about this. It's been a little while since I read the book. One of his long tirades is talking about the way he's talking about evolution and complex systems, and he sort of used it as like a springboard into a tangent about cyberspace and people being online and how that's going to stop evolution completely. Because everybody's going to be thinking the same things and there'll be no progress. And the whole time that I was going through that passage, I was like, it is hilarious how incredibly wrong Michael Crichton was about all that. It's almost like the opposite happened with the internet.
Well, I say if you're in a group.
True.
Then yes, you're going to stop thinking for yourself and you're only going to think what the group thinks.
True. But like the way he was describing the internet was like, the entirety of humanity was going to be the group that is going to stop thinking, and everybody's going to almost become like a hive mind.
Well, that could happen yet. The Borg could still come, and that we'll get those implants in our heads yet, like in Doctor Who. Don't worry, it's coming. And then we will all think the same, and well, you'll have to edit this podcast and be like, oh, I was wrong.
Okay, he's been wrong so far. I hope he continues to be wrong. I hope that he's not eventually proven correct.
I will say one of the odder scenes in the book is when the raptors roll the cage away with the kid in it.
That was bizarre. I was so confused. Like, what is happening here?
I'm like,
why?
Eddie's...
Like, I know they're smart, but like, just to take away the cage with a kid inside it because, like, are they thinking they're going to be able to open it later?
Well, or I think they did it to, like, lure the rest of the group in, which, again, is, like, cartoon villain. Like, that'd be something you'd see on, like, a cartoon. Like, we're going to take the kid, haha.
Yeah, and it's like, they have basically the dinosaur equivalent of mad cow disease. I don't think, like, they're already smart. I don't think it's going to make them that smart in order to like plan out the strategy.
Well, and mad cow disease is the breakdown of your nerves in your brain because it's a brain disease. Like, it's not going to make you smarter.
I would think it would make you dumber.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you watch Cujo and the dog's got rabies. You're like, rabies is terrible, but it doesn't make you act like that dog.
I feel like that happens a lot in movies. Like,
well, it's more fun that way.
Yeah.
It's not fun if you watch an actual animal with rabies. It's sad then. You're like, oh, this is awful.
Yeah.
If Cujo would have been stumbling around, drooling and twitching and losing control of his limbs, you'd have been like, oh, that poor dog. But instead, he's got you trapped in a car and he's trying to kill you. And you're like, oh, that damn dog. But yeah, it was just a very odd scene. They're like, they roll the cage away. And I'm like, what?
And then
Eddie's dead. Poor Eddie.
And then they chase them on bikes with, like, as much as Sarah is smart for most of it, I felt like this was the only dumb part where she was, like, really dumb because she's, like, she puts Kelly on the bike and gives her a gun and she's like, yes. I'll drive and you shoot. I'm like, what is this plan?
This child has never shot. What are you doing? It was such an odd... I could see how it's like... There's a lot of action scenes in this book.
There are.
There's a lot of action. It's a lot of
And
Like,
some of it would have been really cool to see on screen. Even this would have been cool to see on screen.
Well,
It would have made no sense, but it would have
well, I
been
feel like
cool.
we got this in Jurassic World.
A little bit, yeah.
A spin on it with
Yeah.
with Dipshit on the bike and the Raptors. But yeah, and she's just like, well, you gotta, she's yelling at her, telling her what to do, and I'm like, why don't we swap?
Yeah,
Why don't we swap?
that would have made more sense.
Like, hey, you want to try to? I mean, granted, if you've never driven a motorcycle, you're probably not gonna hop on and off you go. It's not like driving a car, especially somebody on the back moving around.
I guess I've never ridden a motorcycle. I would have thought if you have the balance for a bike, you could still do it, but maybe not. I don't know.
Well, going that fast with someone moving around behind you. But still, I'm like, Sarah, what are you doing?
Yeah. Especially because she's a kid. I'm assuming that she has never shot a gun like this before.
And I imagine if she would have had some sort of, like, her whole thing is like, doesn't she like baseball like Lex did?
She likes something.
But I feel like if she was like, oh, you took sharpshooting at, our school or whatever, that would have been a whole different story. It could have been like,
It would have been, yeah.
like, we'll use this now. It's kind of like when you show the gun and later on you have to use the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
That would have been made more sense.
it's like, oh, I did sharpshooting in school or, with my dad. And it would have been like, well, here, take the gun and
Mm-hmm.
shoot that dinosaur.
I was going through my notes again. I found notes from before I'd gotten to the end about being confused about how Raptor Society works.
The answer is it doesn't.
Yeah, because like they describe them as messy and uncaring, having no adults to raise babies how to be adults. But didn't we see a semi-functional Raptor Society in book 1?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and my rationale is, I guess it can be explained away by the fact that it was 2 societies on 2 islands, so their culture evolved differently, which they didn't say. I was just like brainstorming, like, why is it written this way? But then we get to the end and they're going mad.
But we get raptors who know how to steal a cage and the key.
Yes.
How do you know what a key is?
It was so weird.
I can let it pass that they can open doors, because even your cat can learn how to open a door.
Mm-hmm.
But, I got a key, and it goes in that cage. Like, how?
They never showed the raptor using the key.
No,
so
but I think they are just like, maybe it was shiny, and he's like, I'll take this. Like birds. Found something shiny, I'm going to give it to my...
The whole thing just read as convenient plot device after convenient plot device to keep the characters in peril.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of what happened was so ridiculous. It never felt real. Like, it was good, made for good action, but it never felt like this is something that could actually happen.
I'll tell you what, though. When they get to that raptor nest and there's all those skeletons of the apatosauruses, I am like, this is the elephant graveyard scene from The Lion King. The raptors are the hyenas, and they're in the elephant graveyard.
When they got to that scene, I was like, even though this was ridiculous, this would have made for a great movie scene.
It would have been a great set piece. A
Yes.
bunch of giant skeletons just laying there.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Malcolm's just like missing for like this whole part of the book.
Oh, he's in a morphine-induced
high.
stupor.
Which I feel like should have had... I feel like Malcolm did not have the PTSD he should have had, but he was so drugged in Jurassic Park at the end that he might not remember most of that.
True.
Because I am like, you're way too eager to go to the island to save your colleague that you don't really like that much. And I feel like you should be more... Like movie Malcolm was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go there. We're all going to die. This is an awful idea. But in that case, though, he's like, but I'm sleeping with her, so I suppose I should go get her. But this Malcolm, I'm like, I think you should be a little bit more traumatized, but maybe you don't remember it since you were so doped up on morphine and then you died and came back. Like, maybe the memory's just gone and this is all brand new. It's kind of what it felt like sometimes. Like, this is all like, hey, I've never gone through this before.
Yeah, it was odd. Most of this did not make a ton of sense. Like, if you really stop and think it through, it's like, why are you doing this? Why is this happening? Why are these things behaving like this? Mm-hmm. But I think I just have to chalk it up to the fact that everybody wanted him to write a sequel, so he wrote a sequel, and he didn't care to make it as good as the first one.
I also think that when he made this sequel, he was like, I'm just gonna, I don't know, like, jump in on the action scenes, jump in with more science, and just, I don't know. It's just so different from the first book. Like, if you read The Lost World, you don't really need to read Jurassic Park.
No, not really. It's a sequel,
It's
but
a pretty standalone sequel. Like,
Yeah.
they explain it plenty. Like, oh, there was this other island that had dinosaurs on it. Mm-hmm. But they're such different genre. They feel like different genres completely.
They do, yeah.
I mean, yeah, they both got dinosaurs, and like I said, the action's upped, and some of the character development is better, but also some of it's not. And of course, in this book, Kelly kind of does what Lex did in the first movie, is she's the computer nerd who can hack into everything. And
I did like that scene. The whole scene with them like in the shack, and like semi didn't make a ton of sense, but I really liked it either way, with her trying to figure things out, and the raptors are trying to get in, and then they're having to like crawl through the floor to escape the raptors. Yeah, they find a tunnel, and
eventually find the boat to...
Yeah, there was so much about that was like, I wish this was in the movie. Like, as much as I feel like it would probably need a rewrite, I think I said this with the first book, this could be a miniseries. Like, there's so much in this that, I mean, most of it did not make the movie, so it would almost be a completely different thing.
It'd be it'd be like, trying to think what other book was made into a movie that is nothing like... Well, like, I don't know if you've seen Practical Magic, but like the book and the movie are not even close, but they're both great respectively. Like, they don't need, or like Ready Player One's kind of like that too. But I think The Lost World would make a great like miniseries on HBO where you could like go for the gore and
include all of the cool set pieces.
Yes, and the characters, and maybe flesh out a few things a little bit, like Dodgson.
The whole scene at the end with him and Sarah, again, it was almost like a cartoon.
I mean, I appreciated it that he gets his comeuppance.
Yeah, but it felt like he was written in such a way that Michael Crichton was like, I want to give this guy a terrible death. I need to make it worth it.
Yes.
I need to justify it. So he's going to be the most evil cartoon villain.
Yep, and he's going to get eaten by baby dinosaurs. Which, I mean, yeah, that happens in the movie, too. The guy gets...
It did, but it was almost a bit more horrifying in the book, the way the the T-Rex took him and kept him alive until he was taken to the babies. And the way it ended made me wonder if the people who wrote A Bug's Life read this book and were like, we could do this with bugs and birds.
Because it is rather graphic. Like, he goes into detail of like how he's gonna, it's just like, I'm just like, oh.
I'm not going to say it was more graphic than any of the other deaths, but it was, it described in great detail what the babies were doing to him.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like, was it the first book that had like a compy death or something that like really went into detail of like what? Oh, it was when...
Probably both Nedry and...
Yeah, Nedry's was extreme. And then when Hammond... Yeah. Hammond's was pretty... It wasn't quite this extreme because his was more... He couldn't feel what was going on, but still, like, he was in
kind of a daze.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, we got personal vendetta here. This is...
Whereas Dodgson knew what was happening.
Yes.
And he was horrified the whole time.
Yep.
Whereas Hammond was just kind of almost out of it because of the compy venom.
Yep. But yeah, I was like, well, he got his death, and good for him.
They almost made Sarah responsible for it, which at first I was like, don't make her the bad guy, but then like he would have done the same thing. So
well, and also like if you let him get off the island with you, what do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah. So
it's like you either let the Rexes take him, or you leave him here.
Yeah.
And he seems like the kind of snivelly person who would figure out how to get off the island.
Or kill somebody else.
Or kill someone else. So it's just like, well, bye.
Yeah.
And then that's when they talk about the prion disease and using mutton to feed the animals and how it got out of control. And they, they talk about shortening the dinosaurs' lives, which I don't know how long dinosaurs would have lived. Because it's, it's such a... I mean, I imagine, like, in perfect circumstances like zoos, they probably would have lived longer.
I guess in my mind they would almost be kind of like elephants.
I was just looking that up.
Maybe somewhere between elephants and giant tortoises. Because giant tortoises can live
Yeah,
at least 100, if not more years.
Elephants can live 60 to 70 years in the wild.
Yeah.
It's a lot longer than I thought. I thought they'd be like dogs, the bigger they get, the shorter they live.
Probably not, because dogs are that way because of the way we breed them, I think.
True. Yeah, even crocodiles have like a 70-year lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
Or longer in captivity. So yeah, they probably would. I mean, granted, the herbivores probably would have a shorter lifespan, but depending on their size.
I don't know. There's no way to know.
Nope, there isn't.
Unless they find one in the Amazon rainforest.
Right. Find that. What was it? The Brontosaurus.
What was... I'm thinking of the one they think is in Africa. Mokele Membe.
I was thinking more like the movie Baby.
Oh, I haven't seen that. You've talked about it multiple times, and I still haven't seen it.
I'm pretty sure that was like the Brontosaurus. Well, that was before they renamed Brontosaurus. Though now they brought Brontosaurus back, so I don't freaking know. But yeah, I think The Lost World is a very good book, though I have come to realize after watching some YouTube reviews that a lot of people really love this book. A lot more than I do. And I'm like, and then a couple of them were like, well, you have to read it a few times and then you'll really love it. And I'm like, but I don't want to read it a third time. I don't want to treat it like diet soda where you just got to keep drinking it until you just grow to love it. Like I don't want to have to like keep reading it until I break and I'm like, okay, fine. Fine, it's a good book. It is a good book.
It's just not as good as the first one.
No, and I know a lot of people who really like the book don't seem to like the movie that much. But I'm like...
I'm the opposite. I love the movie.
I like the movie. I'm like, it's a popcorn movie. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are like, oh, the end with the Rex in LA. I'm like, just shut up and just enjoy the monster movie. And look at those gas prices. Look how low they are.
I liked the end of the movie way better than I liked the end of the book. After you get through I really liked the shack and like escaping the shack. Mm-hmm. But like the whole race to the helicopter and then missing the helicopter mm-hmm. and then having to get a boat. It's like, why? Why are we prolonging this?
Right. Why does this keep going? Either kill them or take the helicopter scene out completely and just find the tunnel for the boat.
That would have, yeah. I was going to say let the helicopter stay there longer, but like if you hadn't introduced the helicopter as the only way out, then I would have been more okay with trying to find the boat.
But don't they do the exact same thing in Jurassic Park? Don't they find a tunnel? Yeah, they find the tunnel with the boat. That's when they end up on the river with the Rex chasing them. Mm. But this case, the tunnel leads them out to sea to escape, and in that case it was to almost dying on a raft with a Rex chasing you.
Yeah.
But it makes sense they would have the exact same setup because...
It does. It just took forever, and I was just I just wanted it to end.
Yeah.
By the end, I was just like, why is this still happening?
I know, and then we've got the camouflage dinosaurs suddenly introduced.
Yeah, that was like a last-minute throw in that, too. It's like, I feel like that would have been better more towards the beginning and have them be a looming threat rather than insane raptors. I would have liked...
Well, and they don't give any indication that those two dinosaurs are nuts, so... A part of me was kind of like, why are we so obsessively hunting humans? Like, well, you've got food. It's not like there's a lack of herbivores. Like, it'd be different if they got there and they're like, like, they do say the herbivores are dying and they can't figure out why. But there are still herds of animals and lots of them. So I'm like, well, you have lots of prey. So why are we, like, looking at these scrawny little humans? Like, oh, I'm going to eat that. Like, you're a big old... like 40-foot dinosaur, you're gonna want to go eat something big and juicy. It's kind of like when great whites attack humans, they usually don't eat them. It's usually a bite and they're like, oh, this isn't a seal, plech.
Yeah.
I need to eat something that's tasty. But maybe they evolved to hunt the humans because they're like, well, they're the ones who are feeding us and now they're gone, so maybe they're just begging for food.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. I'm not even sure Michael Crichton knew. He just wanted insane raptors to chase them.
Yeah, he just wanted to work in mad cow disease and Which, when I got to that part in the book, I was like, brilliant.
Yes, it makes perfect sense.
I am like, I love this. I just wish it would have happened.
Yeah.
Like 50 pages earlier.
Yeah, it would have been better to, like,
if we
let
would have
us know
known
what we're dealing with. Because I was so confused for most of the book.
Yeah, like if they would have like halfway through been like, hey, look at this paper. Oh my God. And then it would have, I feel like, upped the stakes more, because then you would have been like, okay, the raptors are nuts. That's, we're not dealing with ordinary raptors anymore. I feel like it would have kind of heightened the sense of danger, because then they would have been like, we can't treat this like wild animals anymore. Now we got to be like, watch out for, the crackhead around the corner. He's going to get you.
They basically are crackheads.
It's like, oh, your neighbor's not normal. He's actually on drugs. So you're going to be a little bit more alert now that you know your neighbor's crazy.
Yeah.
But hey, it's a good book. I'm not going to argue with that. It's just not quite what... And I don't know if you could have even written a proper sequel to Jurassic Park, because it didn't need one.
No. Especially the way they ended it with firebombing the island.
Right. That broke my heart. We're like, oh, we found the raptors and they're living in harmony, which, again, fireball.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, I'm sad. This book, I'm like, kill them all.
Yeah, firebomb this island.
Yeah, not the Rexes, though. Like, they're doing just fine so far. And I did like that they kind of established the territories, and they kind of figure out, if we stay in this area, it's on the Rex's hunting trail, but they're not going to go off it. And the raptors didn't encroach into that area until they gave them a reason to.
And the carnivores had their territory that was only like specific times.
Yep.
Which is all really smartly laid out. I just wish that we had... Like, I like the idea of the camouflaging carnivores. I just wish there had been more of them and not just kind of... It felt like it was tacked on at the end almost.
Well, and like the very beginning, because at the beginning, it's trying to make you think it's a raptor.
Yes, they were there at the beginning, but it wasn't explained until the end of what it was.
When they're like, well, I didn't see it, or whatever they go into, and then you're like, oh, it was one of those things, but it was awfully far away from where their hunting ground is, so why was he so... But then they established too it's a water source, so maybe they had to travel to get to water, but...
Yeah. I liked the carnivores, and I wish that they had been a bigger part of it. I almost, like, not that we need to give people ideas for more movies, but I feel like they would be a good, quote-unquote, villain for a new Jurassic World movie. But then it would almost feel derivative of the Indominus Rex. So.
No, you don't want them to come up with, like, the next generation of sponsored dinosaurs, like Doritosaurus or Pepsi.
Oh, no.
Pepsi Max-saurus.
That is both a brilliant and horrific idea. I could totally see that being made into a movie.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of what they were doing with the first one.
That is literally a brilliant idea. I love that, and I hate that, and I never wanted to see it. I never wanted to be a
So this
thing.
one's nacho, and this one's ranch.
No, quit making me like it more.
This one's spicy. We have limited edition. The Lazosaurus is over there. That one we call potato chip.
This now feels like a movie tie-in.
Screw the military. It's all about that sponsorship.
I could totally
This
see
one's brought to you by
these
Factor.
becoming toys. The kids would love you buy blind bags that look like potato chip bags and find out which dinosaur you get.
Comes with a toy, like a Pet Captain Crunch used to do.
Oh no, I hate this and I love it at the same time.
Oh my god, Tyson with the chicken nuggets shaped like dinosaurs.
Yes.
We could do copies. Be like, it's almost the same size as a nugget. Brought to you by Tyson.
Now I want this. I don't want this, but I want this.
Yep. Yeah, anyway, back to the Lost World.
We kind of veered off at the end. We're basically done talking about the book. They escaped the island by boat because they got left behind by the helicopter. Which again, it's like, it just felt like it was being drawn out for no reason. Just adding more terrible things to put them through. Which I guess is fine. People will want that. So
yeah, like I said, this book has a lot of action set pieces. It's got a lot of suspenseful things. It not quite as suspenseful as Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park Some of those scenes, like especially once they get back into the park with the raptors, are chilling. This one I didn't think was... I wouldn't call this one so much scary. Like, I would say Jurassic Park, the book, is a horror. It's got some pretty scary stuff going on. This one, I think, is so over the top with some things that you're like, I know this is supposed to be, like, on the edge of your seat. Like, oh my God, what's going to happen? But I'm just like, but it's so over the top. And some of these characters are annoying. So I'm like, oh, just die, okay? Just... Go be lunch for some dinosaur. Like, it's been a while. Levine lives, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I wanted him to bite it.
I thought he was going to die.
I felt like he should have, kind of like Hammond. He dies at the end of the Jurassic Park because he's the one who starts all this and brings us on everybody. I felt like Levine probably should have met the same fate. Like, you're the reason everybody's here, except for Dachshund, And I feel like if Dachshund and them had gone without knowing Ian and them were there, I feel like they would have met the same fate.
Yeah, eventually.
Because the whole...
Sarah just hastened it by shoving him out from underneath the truck.
Yeah, like, I feel like they all would have died anyway. Because all this shit that goes on with them happens because of them. It's not because Ian and them are messing with stuff. Like in the movie, they're unlocking the cages and letting the dinosaurs out. Like, they're the reason that the hunting party fails. Is because they screw with their plans. But in this book, you don't need to. They're screwing stuff up on their own. They've got their little noise machine that fails. They are underprepared.
Did they even have a way off the island? Dodgson?
I imagine, because he was such a planner. Was it the helicopter? No, because
that was theirs.
That was theirs, because
they were talking before they landed, like, you've got this window of time in a couple of days.
Yeah, that was there. I imagine he had to have had a way off the island, because he planned everything. There's no way he didn't have a way out. We probably just forgot about it in the long spiel that is. So yeah, he may have gotten off the island eventually. I don't know if maybe... Oh, they did. They had a boat. They came on the boat.
Was it their boat, or did they charter a boat?
That's a good question.
Maybe it was their boat.
Either way,
because
they came
otherwise there would have been witnesses when he tried to kill Sarah.
The only witness was his two guys who were just like, hey, why'd you throw that woman overboard?
Yeah.
So yeah, they had their boat. So I think that was their way out, was to get back to the boat. Because the one guy's trying to get back to the boat when he gets chomped.
I still think Dodgson wouldn't have made it out alive.
No. He was way too full of himself. Like, he was just like, I can do it.
Yeah, all his people were picked off one by one. He was the only one left. He wasn't anywhere near the water. And
he was so determined to get those damn eggs when after your first guy gets killed and things aren't going right. Maybe just take what you got and come back later.
Yeah. He's just an idiot.
Yeah. Cartoon villain, Gaston.
Yeah.
But I would still say if you like Jurassic Park, it's worth reading.
Yeah, it is. I don't like it as much as the first book. Or even the movie. Definitely not as much as the movie. I love the movie. I think I'm in the minority of loving the movie. But, I mean, it's still worth reading.
Yeah, it's still
You just have to slog your way through some passages.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, when they leave Ian behind toward the end there, I'm just like, oh, thank God. Good. We don't need him. Because he's just going to draw attention because he can't shut up.
I think even the book ends with another lengthy diatribe about something like emotions don't even exist or something. I don't remember what he was saying.
I don't know. I could go get it, but I'm not gonna.
He just had so many just long, rambly things that was just like, okay, can we move this along, please?
It's like, sir, this is why you're still single.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Lost World. It's good.
Yeah. Well, I think we are done talking about this book. We will have one more episode. Next time, we're going to be talking about Jurassic Park 3, which doesn't have an accompanying book, but there's still some book-related things we can talk about in it. So we will see you next time.
See you later.
Thanks for listening to Every Version Ever. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe and follow my co-hosts as well. All of our links will be in the description below. If you'd like more podcasts like this one, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well as most podcast platforms. If you'd like to support this show, check out Johncast Media on Patreon for everything here, plus bonus and extended episodes you won't find anywhere else. We'll be back soon with another brand new episode, so thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.